Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to For Fantasy's Sake. We're going to try something a little different this season. We are going to do what we are calling Roll for DFS lineup. If you have been on TikTok, you may or may not have seen the popular series Roll for Sandwich, Roll for Barbecue, Roll for Nachos, and Roll for Pizza. Basically, the concept is fairly simple. We are going to take some D&D dice, which you are seeing here on my screen. This was the easiest way to kind of do it. We're going to roll based upon some rules that we're going to talk about as we go through here. Basically, we're going to let fate decide our DFS lineup for the week. So basically, the way this is going to work, in case you haven't seen those TikTok series before, is I'm going to roll this set of dice. The first number that you're going to see there, the 9, that is going to be our position number. Basically 1 through 9 on DraftKings. 1 being quarterback, 9 being DST. The other side is a 4-sided dice. That's that 3 triangle there in the middle. Basically what that is we've taken the pay structures, we've broken them into 4 tiers. Top tier, second tier, middle tier, and bottom tier. And basically the way that this works is we're going to pick the position based upon the first number. We're going to pick the price based upon the second number. And between those, that's how we're going to construct our DFS lineup. What that means, the danger is that we could very easily have a very crappy lineup quickly. We may have money left over at the end. We are not looking to max our cash. We are basically going to do just what kind of these dice tell us is going to happen. So that's basically going to be kind of the overall structure. You'll kind of see how it works here in a second. What you're going to see, though, is we're going to have to jump back and forth between tabs a couple of times. So you're going to see kind of that screen change a little bit as we go through. But in essence, this is the way that this is going to work. So I'm going to jump into that tab. We're going to roll our dice. We're going to hit the little roll button up top here, and we're going to see what that's going to give us. So 3 and 3. So 3, when we jump over into the DraftKings tab here, you're going to see that 3 is going to be our running back position. Now, yes, there may be running back 2 positions there, but we're going to go kind of by slot order here. Even if it slots it into the second one up top, we're still going to call that the 3rd spot there. From there then, like I said, we basically broke those into tiers. So we're going to have kind of 3 tiers. Your top tier is usually kind of that 8,000 plus. Tier 2 is usually 7,900 down to about 5,900. Tier 3 is going to be 5,800, kind of down to 4,000, and then tier 4 is going to be 4,000 and below. So we're going to be in kind of that 5,700 kind of range here. So let's take a look at what we've got in terms of our running back. So looking at that 5,700 kind of range-ish. Now, I'm going to try and start this out by going kind of top of the tier range in there. You've got to kind of make some adjustments as we go through. So if we find that we're running out of money at the end, we may have to find somebody lower down the screen. In the couple of the kind of the demo ones or the prototype ones I've done with these, I've landed on kind of the 4 tier for quarterback sometimes. And basically what happens then is I take the lowest kind of starting quarterback at that point, just to make sure we've got somebody kind of that we know is going to produce the points in that lineup. So for here, we're looking at kind of 5,700. So our choices are Jamal Williams, Miles Sanders, Rashad White. Those kind of guys are what we're kind of looking at here. So I'm going to take Sanders out of that group. I kind of feel like a little bit of better play there. I don't always have to take the top guy, but I want to kind of take kind of, I want to kind of see what my options are and kind of take kind of the best option or what I kind of feel best about here. So we're going to take Sanders there for our running back. Jump back over here. Now we're going to go back to our dice. We're going to roll again. 6 and 4. So again, 6th position, that 4th kind of bottom tier. So jumping back to the DraftKings, 6th position, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're looking at a wide receiver. And then we're looking at that 4th tier, kind of $4,000 and below in there. So not real great, Bob. Let's see who we got running around out there. All right, Zay Flowers. I'm happy with taking a Zay Flowers type player there. We've also got Chark, Hollins, Moore. But I feel like Flowers is probably kind of our best play here at that $4,000 level. So we'll go ahead and take that. From there, then, again, we're going to jump back. Like I said, a lot of back and forth in here with this stuff. So now we're going to jump back, roll the dice again, 5-4 again. So back to our tiers, 5-4. 5 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So again, another wide receiver in there. Take a look at that fourth tier again. Chark's out. I'm going to take probably then Palmer. Let's see what we'll take him for that option. All right, let's see if we can't get out of this 4 doldrums in here with our dice. We'll come back over here and take a look at those. Obviously, again, if we get a position number that we've already rolled, we'll re-roll in there to try and move into the next one. Again, 5. Again, so we'll re-roll that. 4 we've already rolled. 8. All right. So 8, jumping 8 and 2. So we're going to have a kind of a higher price tier on this one. Jumping back over here. Our 8 spot is our flex spot in there. So flex is nice. That means we get to go to the top of the pile and basically put anybody we want into that flex spot. Again, that second tier. So we're looking at basically kind of anybody $7,900 and below. I will happily take somebody in that $7,900 level in there. Derrick Henry versus the Saints this week. That's a good choice. We've got Devontae Adams versus the Broncos. Josh Jacobs versus the Broncos in there as well. I'm going to go ahead and take Adams here at this point. I'd like to get kind of a top-tier wide receiver in there. Generally, I've found that with when I kind of start getting almost 4 roles, I want to make sure that I've got somebody who can kind of carry the squad a little bit when I hit the big numbers. So let's go ahead and take Adams here. From there, then, again, jump back to the dice roll. Take a look and see what we can get out of this. 4, again, we've already kind of rolled that. 1, all right, quarterback, but we've got a third-tier quarterback here. So going to take a look at the quarterback room, but we're going to be looking kind of in that 5,700 to 4,100 kind of range in there. So let's take a look at who's running around in that $5,700 price point in there. So we're looking at Stafford, Anthony Richardson, Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, Brock Purdy. Those are kind of who we're looking at in terms of our plays here. So we've got Stafford, who hasn't been looking the greatest, and the Rams already lost Cooper Kupp. We've got the 3 rookie quarterbacks, and then we've got Brock Purdy coming off of an injury against the Pittsburgh defense here. Our other option, and what I may actually do here as I look at this, is I forgot he doesn't play for them anymore. We could stack Garoppolo with Devontae Adams, or we could snag Carr here as well. Let's go ahead and play for the stack, even though we're going to give up a couple $100 there. I feel like that might end up being the better play. Let's see if we can't hope that Jimmy G and Devontae Adams find a little chemistry here in week 1. So let's go ahead and run that stack as we build this here. All right, jumping back over here to our dice roll again. Hit that roll. 2, back to our running back, but a 4th tier in there. So this is going to get ugly real quick. So rolling down here for that running back, 4th tier, again, $4,000 or less for those guys. Scrolling. We're looking at Larry Roundtree, who's out, Horvath, Ollison, Felton, Blackshear, Brown, Peoples. And like I said, this gets ugly real quick when we get down this $4,000 range in here. So that's why, like I said, if I roll a low number on some of those other positions, I'm going to go right to the top of the tier just to make sure that I can, play that kind of game because I know that the bad ones are going to be in there. So I'm not liking any of my choices here in terms of this. Boy, that is a whole bunch of nothing there, isn't it? Woo! That is some stinky stuff. Jeez. All right. I am down for. They've got Horvath listed first. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and take this. Who's this? Spencer Brown. We're going to go ahead and take him because he seems to be averaging the most kind of fancy points per game here. Literally, there you can see the slim pickings that we're looking at here. So rolling the dice here. Spencer Brown, come on down into the lineup. All right. We got wide receiver, tight end, and DST left. Let's see what the rolls is. Sometimes we have to manipulate the rolls a little bit based upon kind of what we have left. Let's see if we can't get a natural number first, and we'll look at manipulating the rolls if we have to. 9, perfect. DST in there. So, but you're going to have a fourth tier. So we're looking at that cheap price. Now the pricing on the DSTs obviously is a little bit lower. You're only going to start with $4,000, and then you're going to go down from there. So $4,000 to $2,100. We're going to kind of start at the bottom of the barrel. Take a look and see if we can't find a play that we like in there. Kind of that bottom tier. Texans against Baltimore, not crazy about that. Bucks, Raiders, Colts, Dolphins, Cards, Titans, Saints. Yeah, let's go ahead and take that, kind of have that be kind of our cutoff. I should go 2,500 just to make this a little bit more challenging. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's take a look. So we got Miami at the Chargers and Cardinals at the Redskins. Or I'm sorry, not the Redskins anymore, the Commanders. They haven't been that offensive name here in a couple of years. Let's go ahead and look at let's take the Cardinals just for that case in there. All right. Now we're down to 2 positions left. Generally what I do with this is evens and odds in terms of the rolling over there. So same kind of concept. If it's an even number, we're going to pick a wide receiver. If it's an odd number, we're going to go wide receiver. If it's an even number, we're going to go tight end. And that's basically going to be how we split them. And then again, the tier numbers in the red triangle. So jumping back over here, I think maybe I might have not clicked that, but basically what we've got here, we're going to roll our dice. All right, roll again. So got an odd number, which is going to be our wide receivers, and we've got a number 1. So great, we're going to go right to the top of the barrel of the wide receivers. Yay. That means Justin Jefferson, come on down for that. Now, here's where we need to be kind of mindful of, and this is where kind of the game comes in. Jefferson's 8,800. We've got a remaining salary of 16,700. So even if we land a number 1 for a tight end, we may have to adjust the price on that just because based upon DFS rules. But happily take Justin Jefferson to kind of bolster this lineup a little bit. All right, coming back over here, basically what we're rolling for in essence here, we're not necessarily rolling for a position. We're actually caring about the number in the triangle, so we'll go ahead and roll that, see what we're going to get there for. Should have guessed that was going to happen. We were going to have to go with a bottom tier tight end on that. But we got kind of lucky on the wide receiver side, so I'm not feeling too terrible about that. So let's take a look at the tight ends. We're going to be in kind of that bottom range again. Looks like they're going to go 62. So like 1,500. Let's see what we got. 2,500. Yeah. All right. So we're going to start at the bottom. We're going to kind of come up. Look at that bottom kind of 20. We'll look at that 2,500 kind of range. And sorry for the scrolling. I don't know the DFS pricing the way that people like Jordan and Brian do. So take a look at that, see if we can find somebody in here that we like, think that maybe kind of score us a touchdown maybe this week, see if we can find somebody we can kind of gamble on in there. Will Disley at Seattle, he feels like a kind of a play that might happen. Again, he's the 2,600 range, so that'd be kind of that break that I probably want to stay below. Nick Vannett, Ian Thomas in there. Thomas versus let's go. Anybody here kind of stand out? Pruitt versus Atlanta. Michael Pruitt, Southern Illinois' finest. All right, let's go Michael Pruitt in there. I don't like this a ton, but again, devil drives as needs must. So part of this game that we're doing this year actually is we are going to go ahead and we're actually running this for money. We dropped in we're going to be running a $1 contest every week. So we're going to go ahead and enter this contest. As you can see, like I said, a lot of times what we're going to have week to week is we're going to have money left over. Am I crazy about having $5,400 left over? No. Would I rather have whoever's our top tier tight end up there, Hawk or somebody like that? Yeah, would much rather do that. But again, that's the way that the dice told us to roll. So that's what we're doing this week. So that's the game that you're playing here. So we're going to go ahead and enter that. Never know. Crazy things happen all the time, especially on the football field. So we're going to go ahead and enter that contest in there. this will be the lineup that we're going to roll with this week. We will let you know that on the show tomorrow, and then next Sunday in week 2, we'll tell you how this fared, and then we will also let you know how what next week's lineup is going to be. So that's what we're looking at here. So that's kind of the game. I want to thank everybody for jumping on and watching. We're going to send this out via some other things, but see how people kind of respond to that. See how you're certainly more than welcome to come and laugh along with us while we do these and see what kind of chaos unfolds here. So again, I am Doug, part of from For Fantasy's Sake, part of the For Frequency's Sake network. So thank you very much, and we will see you guys next week.